wasn't here last week, so I hope y'all missed me. I guess I'm here to talk about, kind of like my story, touch on it, because there are a lot of new people here, and how to make full-time money by working part-time, right? And I am full-time now, but that's part of my story. I think Thomas is going to pull up my slides, right, in a second. All right, there we go. Okay, do I use this too to change my screen? All right, so how to make full-time money by working part-time. All right, by Sheila Busama. All right, so my story, I've been a client of the company since 2006, okay? I had a term insurance policy. Samir sat down with me because my godmother's son was in training with him, okay? Now that son is not working with the company no more, but here I am, right? So I started as a client, I had an investment, we had rolled over in 2013, and I wanna touch on that because you have to be an example also, right? You got to be a client. You have to get term insurance and invest in yourself, okay? And I was never in sales. In my life, I've never been in sales, okay? Never, okay? I was the person that if you made me happy, I'll refer you to everybody I know. That's who I was, okay? So I became a happy client. I found out that my investments had grown without me even looking at my accounts, right? But the first time I did, my husband and I were very happy with the outcome, and that was the curiosity. That got me. I was like, you know what? I want to learn how to do this, making money literally while I was sleeping, okay? But the upsetting reality was the more I learned, the more people I found out was getting screwed, and that changed my life. Because from being, wanting to learn about money, went to, this is effed up, people are getting screwed, I want to help them, okay? So I started as a spare time. Right? And I did get my securities license. I passed my 6th August of 2018, right? And by the way, I joined July, passed within 30 days my life exam, went on vacation, and didn't really start producing until September, okay? Then I passed my securities license, my S6, my Series 6, back then there was no SIE, it was a combination, and one in 2018. And shortly after, I passed my 63 in November, okay? And I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. Now, I was a part-timer for 4 years and 3 months, and now I've been full-time since October of 2021, okay? Oops. All right, so these are one of my first clients, okay? And I still have a screenshot, right? So, as you can see, like this one was an example of an IUL, right? For a client that she bought this in, I think, 2009. I think she had been paying for it for 9 years. She was paying $2,400 a year, and after 9 years, her cash value was only $5,184. Would that make you upset?
Yeah.
Oh, it was a coworker, by the way. Okay? People buy products because of relationships. Remember that. Okay? Not because it's a great product, because most people are ignorant anyways, like myself. I didn't know anything about money. I did the right things, but I didn't really know that I was doing the right thing at that time. I bought that product because of, I needed it, and I trusted my my godmother's son, okay? Now, the other client here this is a whole life insurance policy. She was paying $52, right? For only $50,000, and she had been paying since 2010. Look at her cash value, $2,100. Did any of these people make money?
No.
But guess what? It was sold to them as a freaking investment. This is what makes me upset. Every single person that has a stupid cash value, I promise you, they're not forthcoming, right? And this is why my why changed, because I put myself in that position. If somebody had purchased this. If I purchased this because I trusted them, I would probably want to kill them. Okay? But people like, in our community, they call it, oh, nakakahiya, like they're shy to call them out. If they F you over, you don't want to call them out?
Right.
Like, seriously? That needs to change, right? And I saw this more and more and more, and it made me really upset, okay? Anyways, next slide. Okay. So, when I started my life premium in 2017, I started in September, that's when I started producing. For 2017, my premium from September, October, November, December was at 44,000. Okay? In 2018, it went to 67. And by the way, my biggest mistake, I didn't really recruit. And this was stupid of me because the other companies, that was their, that's how they got people in. They kept recruiting, and I was like, man, after, in hindsight, I was like, I should have started recruiting early on, okay? In 2019, 93,000 of premium, 2020, I think I really started recruiting in 2019 to 2020, but 2020 is what really changed my view. Okay, I went to, Samir had brought me to a big event, like one of those, not, a trip to the Bahamas, and that changed my mentality about recruiting. I will never forget, Elizabeth Coop was also a registered nurse before, and she said the reason we do this is because you can only be at one place at a time. If you grow legs, you can have more people to undo all that stuff that the bad people were doing, right? Or uneducated, I should say, okay? 2021, until October, right, it was at 87. Part-time, guys. Part-time. Spare time to part-time. Matter of fact, Samir had done most of my appointments for about 2 years. I was the credibility, he was the knowledge. And I was, of course, I was always cussing. It was a little bit of a show, too. Who would not want to, cuss if you see people getting screwed over? Seriously, okay? So, part-time, right, my total premium was at $392. And you know what? I calculated my full-time, right, altogether, I put in $1 million of premium. I'm not even an RVP, guys. Okay? So, that's my income, right? In 2017, because of September, it's only a couple of months, I made close to 15,000. And by the way, my nursing job, right, even though I was at the Kaiser, I was making 100,000, I would only feel like making a little bit because I only took home maybe 2,500 every 2 weeks. When you're making money in Primerica as a 1099, all of that money goes into your bank account. Okay? So this is all part-time income. Okay? Now the difference between 2018 to 2019, now remember this is only a couple of months, it's a full year. I got my securities license and look what happened to my income. It bumped up significantly. Why am I telling you this? Because, my God, the securities license, people try to put it off and put it off. It's hard, nothing's easy, okay? But you know what? I used to work 12 hours, 3 times a week. And as soon as I got home, after, preparing dinner, right? I would literally study from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m.
That's right.
Every day. And I'm an overachiever. I was like, I am not taking this exam more than one time. Nothing wrong with failing, right? That was just me, right? I was not gonna study again because I felt like, man, if I failed this exam, I felt like I was gonna be very deflated and I wouldn't want to take it again. So I had to make sure that I was gonna pass. Now, when I did take the exam, I thought I failed. I thank God, I have a prayer, guys. And thanks to my husband, he was very supportive because he would make me coffee. The 5 days, the 5 days prior to taking my exam, all I did was study all day. And he would do everything for me, right? So having a supportive, partner, husband, spouse, whatever, is very important too. All right. So this is one of my first commission. Samir took a picture. She's like, Sheila, did you see this? I'm like, oh my God, that's half of what I make as a nurse every 2 weeks. And he did all the work. I made $13.89. Now that was probably several transactions. Maybe let's say per client, 2 hours each client, 6 hours. I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty happy, right? And then I got more. And in let's see. I think one of us had 4,000, but I don't think I took a screenshot. But you see, the more money I made, right? The more money got into my pocket, the more I wanted to work. Now, Is there something wrong with making more money in the company?
No.
No, it means you're probably helping a lot more people, protecting a lot of families, getting people out of trash value. That was my why, right? So making money means helping other people, okay? Let's see. Now, one of the effective techniques, even when I was working full-time, I had time management. This is where people lack. They're so distracted with social media, right? They would rather watch a game. They would rather what? Watch Netflix all night, but can't put any time in, you know, getting licensed, right? Reaching out to people, okay? Time management is key. There are gonna be sacrifices in the beginning, right? But that sacrifice is well worth it, okay? I always had my goal. I will never forget when Samir asked me this question. He said, Sheila, how much money would you have to make with this company for you to quit your job? And I was like, 10,000? And I thought that would never happen, right? He's like, are you sure? He said, okay, we can get you there. And I honestly, I didn't think I could. I promise you, I didn't think I could, right? So, but that first month, I made like 4,000 in 1 month. I'm like, damn, I think it is possible, right? So anyways, time management is very, very important, right? You gotta set your own goals. I always had a goal where how much, I wanted to at least make 10,000 personal every month. Now, did I reach it every month? No, but I was pretty damn close, right? And some months I would, more than other months, I would do more than that, okay? I stayed focused because it was, my eyes were on the prize. What was the prize? My freedom, okay? Last week, I just went to Seattle to visit my mom. I spent her birthday, she turned 76. I've never spent my mom's birthday since I was like 10 years old, right? And then next week, I'm going to another vacation. I go to Cancun with my husband, right? If I had worked as a nurse, do you think I'd ever get, you know, like back-to-back, you know, approvals for my vacation? No. And then February, I think I'm winning that trip. In January, I think I'm gonna go to Texas. I mean, I could never do that as an employee. Now, you probably have to be an employee right now, but work towards building your freaking business. Okay, showing up, this is really important, okay? As Samir, the only time I don't show up to trainings or meetings is because if I'm probably on a trip, right? I fix my schedule based on the trainings. I don't say, oh, I can't go to training because I have my dental appointment. You move your dental appointment, your doctor's appointment, when you know you're coming to training, you're gonna block that schedule, right? God, family, business. If you're sick, fine, you know? But if every Saturday you're sick, something's wrong. That's an excuse. Every freaking Saturday you're having a flat tire, that's an excuse. Or it alternates, like, oh, this Saturday you're sick, this, your car broke down, this Saturday somebody else got sick in your family. Do you guys have that? Show up, show up to these trainings, show up to the meetings, show up to the big events, right? People making an excuse, I mean, you'll know when they're making an excuse. You just have to spend more time on people that are not. Right? Sorry, right?
No, that's not.
Listen to your mentor and communicate, right? Your mentor, you know, when you make money, your mentor makes money. Do you think your mentor doesn't want you to make money? No. They will always want you to make money too, right? And communicate, right? You know what, one of my pet peeves is when I send a text message and people don't respond. And there's a reason for that, right? I'm here to try to help you, right? I can speak for all the mentors here, right? I'm here to try to help you, so just freaking respond. And aside from that, I'm traumatized because the one time that somebody did not respond to my text message, he ended up being dead. I was the one who told the mother to go check on him because he always responded to my text messages. That's why I'm even more traumatized when people don't respond. They think I'm just trying to, no, I just want to make sure you're freaking alive. Right? Self-improve, right? There's always room for improvement. I have a lot of room for improvement. I still have a lot to learn. We all will, because technology, I'm not tech savvy, but thank God my husband is. I know he gets annoyed at times, but thank God I'm bringing some money. He might be annoyed for like 10 seconds and it'll be like, and just be very straightforward and genuine. Like, you can't, people will see right through you if you are just being, if you're always treating people like they're just a transaction, that's, you're not gonna get business with that, okay? All right. So, for time management, I just wanna emphasize that when I was new, I always sent at least text messages or DMs to 6 people, new people every day. Not the same people, new people, right? Every day I did that. A lot of time to study for the licensing, right? That's what I did, okay? You gotta set appointments, but also go on those appointments. You're never gonna learn, because the more appointments you go to, the better you'll get good at it, right? I remember when I first started, I was like, okay, how does this trash value work? I said, Samir, I want you to come, and I want you to sit with me, and I want you to teach me how to read policies, okay? And that's how I got really good. And if there was a question, I would always call him. I'd take a picture, like, hey, Samir, what does this mean? Right? It's a learning process. But you know what? The more you do it, the better you get good at it, okay? Like I said, you gotta block times for the meetings, the trainings, and those big events. Like, I would always ask Samir, when is the big event? Because what? I would schedule my vacation around it, not when the big event is on. Some people will say, oh, you know what, I got, it's an emergency, it's a true emergency, fine. But I make sure that those big events, I'll be like, okay, Samir, when is it? Okay, I'm gonna go on vacation either before or after, not during, right? Because that's intentional. You gotta be intentional about your business, okay? The more time you spend with your business, the business will really, really pay you back, okay? And I used to do a lot of group in-person meetings, like let's say I had, the volleyball girls. I would gather them in one meeting, right? And then they get the same presentation, and then we just do the application one by one right after that, right? That's for efficiency, okay? Setting goals, like I said, how many appointments do you really want to set and go on a weekly basis, right? How many families do you want to help?
Hello.
Okay, I was a little sleepy, right? How much money do you really want to make every month? Okay, and how, I used to, I think I got this from Jen. When Jen, you said every day you wanted to do something, either recruit somebody, make a sale, get an investment, have somebody licensed. That was my goal. And if I didn't reach that goal for the day, I'd say, okay, maybe tomorrow I'll do 2, okay? But at least have a goal, because you have somebody to work with, right? Okay? What did I say in the beginning? Well, just emphasizing everything starts with credibility, right? When I was never in sales, but I think I had, I was a very credible person because I was very straightforward. I do cuss like I say, like most people, but that's just me, right? And I built a lot of relationships over time. Did I spell that wrong?
Yeah.
B. My husband's B, so the B's and B's. Okay. So I would call and I say, I want to help my family and friends have a better understanding of what they have, so an informed decision can be made. Now that was English, right? But in Tagalog, I would say that. Okay. And it wasn't always about, oh, I just want to sell. No, I want you to be educated so you can make that decision, right? If they did have a policy, I would ask which company they had it with, right? And if they had and if I had the same statement of the company, I would let them know, I've read policies from that company, and I'm gonna tell you right now, the person that had that already lost money. So wouldn't you wanna know if you're losing money? How soon would you wanna know? Right? That's pretty much how I got in the door, right? Never think, oh, I wanna sell you something. No. Education, 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 right? And let's see, self-improvement, there's always room for improvement. Make what you do teachable and duplicatable, okay? Be resourceful, right? We're not all good at one thing, but certain people are good at certain things and others are good at certain things, right? I mean, sometimes I call Jen, right? I call Shondell. Shondell probably laughs at me when I come, what the heck? Right? I call Bao, I call Tia, I call Samir, I call Shaq, I call Thomas. Especially Alex, where's Alex? Right? But, be very resourceful. We're here to help you guys, okay? We're one team. We have our own, teams, but we're all really one team, okay? Master your products. It just comes with experience, right? And master the presentation, be very strategic. What I mean by being strategic, like if somebody says they have only work insurance, what do? When I do the presentation, I'm gonna kill that, group insurance. If they have cash value, I'm gonna freaking kill that shit.
Yeah.
Okay? If they don't have no insurance, I'm gonna freaking kill that shit. Okay? My mind is far away. All right. Always remember that the end goal is you are building a business and helping your team build their own business. It's not gonna be easy. There is no business owner that became successful overnight. It does take time. Okay, and I'm gonna leave you with some quotes that I saw. Whenever you see a successful business, someone once made a courageous decision. So you're here, you made that decision. But you gotta also act on it. You can't just make the decision and decide that you're just gonna binge on Netflix every day. That's not how it works. Okay? Peter Drucker, he was an author and he focused on management. Okay? Another quote. Tough times never last, but tough people do. This guy built an empire on motivation and self-belief. Okay? And of course, everybody knows Estee Lauder. She never dreamed about success, but she worked for it. Okay. Any questions?